ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. Our subject is intuition. What is intuition? You see, when body functions spontaneously, it is called instinct. But when the soul functions spontaneously, it is called intuition. So in between there is intellect or mind. See, we cannot explain the intuition scientifically, because intuition is just a happening. It's a flash, it's an insight, and there is no logic to prove or to conclude its source. See, reason functions from two aspects. One is known and the other is unknown. So if it is a known, so we gather the knowledge or facts and we try to establish with logic, with reason, for any happening. And suppose there is an unknown, the unknown aspects of life, we will try to know those things through different methods or practices, and we come to a conclusion that this is the process of knowing that unknown. But there is another aspect which is beyond reason and which is unknowable. There are unknowable aspects of the existence and life, and from the unknowable springs the intuition as a flash, as an insight. So the higher can penetrate into the lower, but the lower cannot penetrate into higher and cannot catch it. Only it has to come down on its own to the lower. So the aspect which comes from the higher to the lower is intuition. Its source is unknowable. Only it comes as a flash. So then how to develop this kind of intuition? See, normally animals are instinct oriented lives. We call their life as instinct oriented, because whenever they feel hungry, they take food, they attack, they take food, and whenever they get sleep, they sleep. So all that with no further aims or goals or objectives in their life. That is called the instinctive life. Instinctive life is animalistic. That's what we call it. But there is another aspect to it. Our body, human body, is instinctive in its functioning. Nature has given the body that wisdom of instinct, because instinct never fails, it never forgets anything. That is why all essential functionings of the body, the whole functioning of the body otherwise has been entrusted to instinct, like breathing, blood circulation, heart beating, digestion, etc. So this function has been given by the nature to the body and to the body's wisdom, and it never fails. Even when we are in coma, the body functions very normally. So this higher dimension of intuition. So what is it, and how to experience that? See, intellect is there, but intellect has no experience. That's why it all depends on beliefs, philosophies, and all that. But whereas instinct is experience oriented, so it never fails. It is always wise. So a wise man maintains an harmony between this body, the mind or intellect, and intuition. So when we function normally in all these three dimensions of life, then we realize the very source of life and with the very center of our being in the existence. Intuition is such an aspect of life which is there in all the human beings. Not only in the human beings, it is there even in animals also. So that intuition, we can also call it as an inner guru, inside master. It guides us in all difficult situations in the life. For example, in the animals, there is a fish. So the female fish, to lay the eggs, goes to the other shore along with the male fish. So the female fish lays the egg and dies. The male fish fertilizes the egg and dies. It also dies. So the egg matures and the fish comes out. When the fish is born, it has no parents. But the fish, by its inner force, goes to the other shore where the parents lived, and from where the parents have come to the other shore to lay the eggs. So it goes there, and when it comes to the season of laying the eggs, the fish again comes back to the other shore where the parents have laid the eggs and all that. And it never fails, and the same process continues. And what made the unborn fish, after taking birth, to carry the faculties of their parents, and what made it to swim over to the other shore where the parents lived earlier. So that inner force, that is called intuition, it has driven that fish to the other bank. Similarly, the experiments have been conducted all over the world also in the animals. So in Russia, it seems one cat was there, and it has given birth to 3-4 kittens. So the children have been taken away from the mother cat, and mother cat has been tied with an instrument to measure its heartbeats, body functions, all that. So the children have been taken away from the mother, and one kitten was killed, and the mother cat had that kind of fear, that kind of pain in it, as it has been observed from the machine which they have fixed to the cat to observe all its feelings. So how it is possible? Because of the intuition. Like that, in human beings also, we can see Madame Curie. She was a famous scientist who won the Nobel Prize twice, and she belongs to University of Paris. She was born in 1867 and died in 1934. She was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1903 and in 1911 for her research in physics and chemistry. See, the Madame Curie, very interesting. She has worked on a problem for 3 years. She found different solutions. She worked on it, but no solution from any direction could not work, and they all failed. So she was so exhausted and fed up with that work, and one night she decided, I have wasted my time for all these 3 years on this project. Let me abandon it, let me drop it. And she dropped it and went to sleep. Next day morning, when she vaguely remembered, remembered an incident where she could find the answer for the solution. So she went to the table, reading table or writing table, whatever it is, and she was astonished to observe that the solution was written on that. And she was very much surprised. And then it was her own handwriting. Then she could slowly remember the dream which she underwent in the night. She got up in the night, unconsciously went to the table, wrote the answer, and then slept again. This she did in a dream, in an unconscious state, so that she could recollect slowly. So what made her to find the answer? She did whatever she could do, her best she did. When all her efforts are exhausted, then that inner guru, that intuition, found the way, has shown the solution to her. So it is very interesting. Like that, there was another gentleman whose name is Shankaran. So he was in Madras. He was a rickshaw puller. So he was, when he was driving the rickshaw, when he was pulling the rickshaw, a professor was sitting in his rickshaw. He was going to the university in Madras, now Chennai. So the professor was a mathematics professor in the university, and he was thinking about some problem, unsolved problem. So he was going on thinking how to solve the problem. So this boy, at that time he was a boy, he was pulling the rickshaw. Then he turned behind and addressed the professor. Sir, you are thinking about a problem. The answer is this, he said. The professor got puzzled. He didn't say anything because he's a rickshaw puller. He was a rickshaw puller. He went to the university, then worked on it, and found that the answer told by the rickshaw puller was perfectly correct and in order. So again, in the subsequent days, he has given 2-3 other problems, and without even just seeing the question and whatever going on in the professor's mind, he could read the mind of the professor, and he could answer those problems, and he has given solutions to those problems, which proved to be 100% in order and correct. So the professor asked him, how can you do this? Then he said, I don't know, because you are sitting, and I could visualize some figures going on in your mind, the problem. So immediately I could do the answers, whatever it is, they were there going on in my mind. So that's what I could share with you. So the professor then sent him to Oxford University for studies, and he has become a reputed professor in mathematics later. So how this could happen? Madame Curie, interestingly, after this first instance is over, Then she tried the intuition. I mean to say this, she tried to solve the other problems through intuition, and she didn't put any effort, and she wrote the problems and she slept. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Why nothing has happened? Because it happens only when all your efforts are exhausted, when the intellect is exhausted, mind is exhausted of all the solutions, whatever it is, and all the efforts, then only divinity in the form of intuition enters and takes over the problem and solves it. So that's why the master says, do all your best and leave the rest to God. So this is the meaning of intuition. We are tired up in finding solutions to so many day-to-day problems, and some other problems which are we feel very big and all that, but and we fall into depression and also develop suicidal tendencies because such problems are not solved, especially in the case of parents who are having handicapped children, so many other problems, so many other things. People suffer from so many problems. But remember, do all your best. Put all your efforts. Put all your efforts joyously and leave the rest to God. And you see how kind and merciful He is in solving your problems. In this regard, this cultivating and happy attitude of living, this is very much necessary in our day-to-day life, especially in addressing the unsolved problems. Shakuntala Devi, another example, she was born with the intuition functioning, and as you know already about her, and once she happened to visit Albert Einstein. So Albert Einstein gave a question in mathematics for her to solve it. So when he was Albert Einstein was narrating the question. When he started narrating the question, she started writing the answer on the blackboard. And when he finished the question, she finished the answer also. The answer was so big, I mean to say, in the figures. It was so big, and that board, that writing board was full with the answer. And Einstein has written in the certificate given to her that if he follows the method of solving it, the proper method of solving it step by step, it would have taken 3 hours for him to solve that problem. But she could do it within no time. And for other persons who are not that much familiar, it may take 6 hours or even more. That's what Einstein has observed after examining her. So this is possible only by intuition. Similarly, in the case of Albert Einstein only, how he could find the solutions to his problems is, once Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, he also studied in Germany. Albert Einstein studied in Germany. So through one of his common friends, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia went to meet Dr. Einstein. So at that time, when he went to his house, Einstein was taking a bath in his bathroom. That's what the wife told him. Please wait, he will come. So he waited for 1 hour, and he could not see Einstein. So he asked his wife, Einstein's wife, how much time he will take for bathing. And she said, I don't know, it is unpredictable. Then he was very curious and asked her, what does he do in the bathtub? Then she told, he will be playing with soap bubbles. What? He exclaimed. She said, yes. The point is, in that relaxation, he gets the insights, he gets the flashes of intuition. Any unsolved problem, he gets an insight while he is relaxing to the fullest extent. Like that, another scientist, Archimedes, you must have heard. So when he was taking bath in a bathtub, when he stepped into the bathtub, the water is full in the tub. So when he stepped into the tub, he observed that some water has gone down. And suddenly a flash has come that the water, the weight of the water which has gone outside because of his stepping into the bath, because of his immersion in the tub, is equivalent to the outer force which is thrusting from top of the water. So it is equivalent to that. So that's what, it's a famous principle that Archimedes has found it. So in the utter relaxation, that's why we have to develop an attitude of happiness all the time, so that whatever problems, whatever solutions are there, they will surface as flashes, as insights. So that relaxation, the technique of relaxation, in religion it is called meditation. It is called a science of meditation. In any kind of meditation, the process is relaxation of your biology and relaxation of your psychology. So that in relaxation of psychology, there is an unconscious mind in us, and which manifests only to the maximum extent of 15% as conscious mind in wise people. But like Einstein and others, ordinary people, only that it manifests only 5 to 6% of that unconscious mind. So when you dive into the unconscious, when you purify the unconscious, because when you are in relaxation stage in meditation, so all whatever is there in subconscious mind, they come to the surface. When you observe them immensely, a kind of energy arises, a kind of flame of energy, a kind of flame of wisdom arises. And in that, whatever is suppressed in the unconscious, they all get burnt, and the subconscious gets purified. So please do not go into depression and make your life joyful, because the inside master, the inward guru, is looking for you, is waiting for you, is loving you immensely. Please turn inside and have a glimpse of your own reality, of your own connectivity to the source of eternity, as you are the divine child of that all merciful Lord. So thank you.